intro.
Yeah.
The intro music. Greetings, friends. It's Kayla again. I haven't done an interview in a really long time, about a year now, but I felt called to do so again, and I decided to call on one of my friends again.
Hey.
One of my college friends from my undergrad experience, amen. And yeah, so this is Sonnel. I will let Sonnel introduce herself, but I do want to share that she is a writer, she is a poet, she is a performer, she is a comedian.
Oh, I'm funny?
On the TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. And yes, today we're going to discuss womanhood, amen, from Sonnel's perspective. But I'll let you say anything else you want to share about yourself with the public.
Yeah. So my name is Sonnel. Yes, I do write. Yes, I am funny. Yes, I do perform. Fun fact about me, I'm a Scorpio.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're a water sign.
The crowd goes. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna edit some screens.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Okay, T. I do want to talk about what inspired this interview and this conversation. So last year, me and Sonnel, I think we're on our way to a party or something, and we were talking about womanhood. And I was explaining to her that I feel like I'm not a woman because I don't fit into like the stereotypes of a woman, or yeah, just what society would perceive a woman to be. I just felt like that wasn't me. Amen. But then Sonnel was like, okay, but that's exactly what makes me a woman. And I was like, bitch, that's so motherfucking tea. So I was like, oh my God, we have to talk about this more in depth. So yes, let's chat. What does being...
should I turn to the left?
Sure. What would you say being a woman means to you?
Well, being a woman for me, me specifically, I feel like that whole feeling of that warmth in your stomach when you're like, yeah, I'm a woman. And it's like, yeah, your body's like, yes, you are. But I feel like what I was saying back then is like, to be a woman is to kind of question yourself. Like, I feel like we're just conditioned to question ourselves. And we're conditioned to like question our place in society, mostly because, I mean, there's not a lot of space offered, like, you know, outside of the home,
right?
And outside of marriage, outside of having children, there's not really a lot of space for us made by other people, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like we provide a lot of space for each other, but I feel like the outer world is not as giving. So, like, I feel like the process of being a woman is also, where am I? Where do I fit? But for me, it's like, for me personally, it did begin that way. Like, my childhood was very like, I'm not a girl because I'm fat. Like, I'm not a girl because my voice isn't high pitched. Like, I'm not a girl because I'm not seen as pretty, or like, I can't be a girl because no boys like me. Like, so I feel like that is also part of the process. Now, other genders go through this too, like the questioning of where they fit in and who they are. So that being said, I feel like there's gonna always be that part. There's gonna always be that question for everybody, but I feel like the last stage for a woman is like pride in being such. Now, if you don't have that pride of being a woman, you might have that pride of being a man, or being neither, or being both, or being everything, right? So the last stage is pride, I feel. Like, for me, like, coming to terms with my gender, because there was a point where I was like, I think I'm non-binary, but there was a point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm a woman. And then I felt that warmth of like, yeah, that fits nicely, it fits snug, and I felt prideful of being a woman. So if you are still questioning, I don't know if you are, which is valid, but like, that's just something to think about.
I see.
Where that warmth in your stomach sits That's what I did. I tried it out. I was like, okay, I'm a man. Okay, I'm non-binary. Okay, I'm a woman. Okay. Yeah.
I like that. So kind of like using your body as a means of confirmation.
100%.
Like,
that's what I do.
There's this one exercise. I forgot where I saw this at, but it was kind of like, okay, so like you're standing, ask yourself some questions you already know the answer to. My name is Kayla. And like, so you would say, if my body leans forward, it's yes, leans backward, it's no.
Ooh, I've never heard
so
that.
Like, my name is Kayla, you'll lean forward. I'm 23, you lean forward.
That's so
Just
cool.
like start with like things you know for a fact is true, and then you can get into, should I quit this job? Yes or no?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like that, using your body as a tool, but also as, I don't want to say vessel. It is a vessel, but also like a, it just reminds me of like mode of transportation. If that makes any sense. Like, it's translating and transporting this message to you, through you. Amen.
Yeah. I had to learn how to trust intuition. I'm also very indecisive and very impulsive. So, like, sorry, my mom is texting me. Yeah, so I had to learn how to like just listen to my body, because I'm tired of asking for advice and then not doing what they tell me to.
Yeah.
So it's like, I might as well just ask myself. Like, I'm gonna ask the realest bitch I know. And it's like, my body doesn't steer me wrong. Like, for example, if I'm like, should I text that nigga? No, yes, no. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna text him. My body doesn't feel right. No, I'm not gonna text them. I feel calm. I feel relaxed.
And reassured.
Yeah. So like, try it out, guys. You just try it out.
Amen.
It's a life hack right there.
Excuse me. Okay, T. So that makes me wonder, do you feel as though, like, where does your body come to play in you defining or like identifying with a woman? As being a woman? Do you feel like it has absolutely nothing to do with your body, or like the way that you physically present yourself? Like we were just talking about, is the body a tool in your self-expression as a woman? How do those two coincide? Because earlier you mentioned, you're like, oh, because I'm fat, I'm not a girl.
Right.
Or if I'm not desirable to the outside world, then that means I'm not a girl. So where do you sit with that now?
So I don't know. I don't think my body plays a part in my gender. Mostly because like, there are bodies that are different from mine who share my gender, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know. But I guess, I mean, that's like more generally. But personally, I feel like my body, like, not specifically like that I have titties and like, you know, other things. Like, but it's how I treat my body that makes me feel more like a girl. Like, for me specifically, like, that kind of satisfaction relies in like nails, jewelry, certain clothes, like fitting clothes, like tattoos, piercings, like kind of modifying my body makes me feel more like a girl. Like the fact that I can choose what I look like is like, that's kind of cute. Also the being fat thing, I've outgrown that. Like, I love being fat. This is your sign to get fat, but no, I'm kidding. But no, I think me personally being big also feeds into that whole, like, I feel like a woman. Like, there was this one show that I was watching that had Jill Scott in it, and she was like some kind of African detective or something like that. It's like, it's on HBO. But she's big, obviously, and that's they kind of make jokes on that, like, about that, and it's like, it takes place in Africa, and you would think that like bigger women are, you know,
Value.
Yeah, because you see the statues, you see the symbols of womanhood, the symbols of Venus, like, you know.
Right.
But they kept saying like how she's big and how she's fat, and she's like, no, I'm not. And I think somebody called her full-bodied or like full woman, and like I was like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Like, you're full. Like, that's, for me personally, that's how I see it. Like,
you're complete.
Yeah, I'm as much as a woman as I can be. Like, I'm full. Like, I fit the space, and it fits me snug, and it fits me well. And yeah, but back to like generally, like what I think on the broad side of things, what I think a woman would be. based on her body. You could look like anything, like literally. Like I don't think it has anything to do with looks, but yeah. Okay, so this is a journal entry. I hear you're a woman who likes to eat, and looking at you, I can see that it's true. I can't remember the last day I wasn't hungry, whether the hunger begged for food, love, understanding, or an identity, a name to call myself. I was always hungry. I'm a woman who likes to eat. I enjoy gnawing at myself until hopefully one day finding the woman I've always wanted to be underneath. I never did find that woman. I never did find that woman underneath the skin that I somehow hated, the skin that I scratched at and looked for as I licked my fingers clean. And I thought if I ate enough, I might find the happiness that escaped me. I could say I never desired to be skinny. I could say that I've always loved being fat, and I've always been this way, but I cannot lie. My face and fingers are covered in blood, in the skin that I've clawed at. I cannot lie because you'd see it on my face. You'd see it in my weight, that I've always been looking for that girl underneath. She might be skinny, she might be loved by the camera, she might have a lovely marriage with food, and then she might not be me. She might be someone else entirely. I would love to end this with me saying the gnaws have become kisses, and how my hands and face remain clean, and that my belly has shrunk, and that my smile has grown, but again, I cannot lie. Because I'm a woman who likes to eat, and seeing me, you know that it's true. Yeah, I was on my period. And I had to write, like, I just felt so, like, I was surrounded by so many girls that were, like, skinny and, like, whatever, and I was like, damn. Like, they look so nice in their bathing suits. But, I don't think that way now. I was on my period again. I was on my period.
We don't count those.
Yeah, I was on my period.
Yeah.
But
that was really beautiful, though. What the fuck?
Thank you.
And do you publish any of the writing?
No, they stay in my notes app.
Oh, babe. You're doing a disservice.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, T. So that brings me... Oh, where do I want to go? Okay. Okay, T. So you mentioned it's not more so how you look, right? Or like what your body is that makes you feel like a woman, but how you take care of your body, how you accessorize it. So how does one take care of a woman?
Like as a non-woman or as like... Or how do we take care of ourselves?
However you interpret the question. We can do both. It's up to you.
Okay. I'll start with my first interpretation. How does one take care of a woman as a non-woman or even as another woman? I guess you take care of them emotionally. Like basically what I was just saying earlier, like filling out your body and feeling out how you feel. I feel like that's... You have to be in tune with how you feel before you can take care of a woman. Like if you just, go through life just logically completely and just like, it is what it is, like, that's just a fact of things, like, and then you go and like try to take care of a woman, it's like, it's gonna backfire because sometimes it's not what it is. And sometimes, what Tony said, what she said, oh my God. Oh, whatever, it'll come to me. But sometimes it's not what it is, and sometimes facts aren't valid. Like sometimes that doesn't matter. It's how you feel. So like if a woman feels sad, you kind of cater to that feeling. You're not like, well, there's no reason you should be sad. Well, I mean, you weren't sad 5 minutes ago. So, I mean, no, it's like you cater to that feeling.
And it kind of reminds me of just like being present too. Because you just said like, yeah, 5 minutes ago I wasn't sad, but now I am in the present moment. So what are we going to do about it now that we're both here in the present moment? I'm experiencing this feeling. How can you make space for me and this feeling that I'm having? So
don't ever bring up the past with a woman. Don't ever. That's not what I said. I never said that. That's not even me.
I'm not even the same person.
Literally, like
I grew up.
But I've changed since an hour. But so just kind of tap into your feelings, be present. And honestly, it's hard, but it's just like you gotta just be able to go with the flow. Like you have to kind of let go of like rules. like, I don't know, like, boundaries are great. Boundaries are great. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, letting go of, like, expectations and rules.
Right.
Like, oh, if someone's crying, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this. It's like, what feels right? And I'm scared to say this because, like, sometimes people are like, oh, it feels right for me to walk away. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that's what you chose to do, I guess.
Oh my God.
I've told, like, my past partners, like, just do what you think is right. And if I think it's wrong, then we're just going to go from there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you fuck up, then you fucked up. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to get mad. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So just do what you feel is genuine. Like, try not to fake it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't follow rules and, like, a recipe. Like, just live in the moment and do what you think is okay.
That's tea. I feel like this year, I've been learning more about that. Because, like, in my head, a lot of the time, the way I process things is, like, by the book. Like, oh, I can take this step to get that result. And sometimes it could be like that. It is very, it really is a method. But when it comes to feelings, it shouldn't be. When it comes to human beings, it shouldn't be. So I want to know, how did you, like, did you have a moment that you experienced that you were like, this is not a recipe, like, fuck expectations? Or how did you assume, because even the way that you're expressing it, this is something that you know because you experienced it. So can you share more about this experience that brought you to this?
Well, mostly growing up, I'm not diagnosed with anything, but I'm definitely neurodivergent. Just talking to, like, experts. A lot of the things I used to do. No, literally, I know a lot of autistic people. My brother is neurodivergent, and also therapists too. Like, I speak to, like, PhD havers, but just a lot of things I used to do are not normal, and I used to kind of live on a very structured. Well, I still do sometimes, but very structured, like, rule-based lifestyle. Because it was like, this could also be, like, from trauma too. Like, you know, kids. Well, not all kids, obviously, but in the Black community, like, discipline is spraying the bottle in your face. Well, not literally, but, like, we're talking about violence here. But, like, kind of in a way of training kids.
Right.
And so
that's obedience.
Yeah.
Like from birth, it's like, no, you're going to be obedient.
Yeah. So I've kind of been on that rules kind of thing. So, like, anything would be a rule. So, I can't say certain things in certain situations or I'm gonna get the consequences. So, like, there wasn't a lot of space to, like, feel out anything. It was just like, I know that's what I have to do. That's what they want me to do, so I'm gonna do that instead of, like, doing what I want. But I still struggle with that, obviously. I'm also a rule breaker. I love rules, but I break them all the time. But a more specific time where it's like it really settled in me was my first relationship. Like, I understood, like, there were things that you have to do. Like, you have to like take care of that other person in a way that you wouldn't usually. Like, you have to go out of your bounds. Like, you have to sacrifice everything in order to show that you love that person. Like, you have to, like, you know, talk to them a certain way no matter how you're feeling. You have to, like, you have to perform. Like, it just became, like, a performing thing. And then I guess it was the same for him too. Like, he also expressed that he sometimes felt like he was performing or, like, doing stuff just because I expected him to instead of, like, him wanting to do it. And so I guess that's where I learned, like, not everything is a rule and, like, not every expectation is healthy. Because, mind you, I had a lot of expectations. Like, I watched Disney Channel. Like, I watched every single princess movie. I love rom-com books. Like, my expectations, I love romantic anime. Like, my expectations were, like, they still are.
What's your Venus?
Scorpio. They still are high, okay? For anybody listening, I'm not settling. Thank you so much. But
Amen.
In that moment, I did have to realize, like, romantically, my expectations are fine. They're perfectly fine. But I kind of applied that lesson to, like, expectations for life. Sometimes I expect to, like, have a beautiful job and, like, have so many friends, and like, you know, I go out to brunch every single day. Like, I really did think at 22 I'd be like out and about in the city. I'm a city girl, like Sex in the City type vibe. But like those kind of expectations can sometimes hurt. Like, I stopped doing New Year's resolutions like years ago because they suck. Like, I hate setting expectations for the year. I just do what I think is right in the moment.
I feel now. How do you interpret the masculinity, femininity spectrum? Because some believe that we all possess masculine and feminine energies or qualities. Some it's like you're more feminine or you're more masculine. Sometimes it's like situation based. Like this situation may call for you to access more of your masculine qualities, so on and so forth. But what's helped me define this, to like maybe even break it down even more, is defining what masculinity and femininity really is. Because I feel like oftentimes, obviously, masculinity is tied to men, femininity tied to women, but I don't think that that's true. Like, I feel like like some things that would be deemed masculine qualities are only deemed that way because it's tied to men. That makes any sense. So what is your understanding of masculinity and femininity, and then the spectrum of it? Where do you think you fall? Do you feel like you possess both qualities? Is it situation based for you, or?
Well, first of all, I don't really even know how to define masculinity and femininity. I had a conversation like this with, ex-friend, former friend. I don't know. We're not friends no more. They kind of did some crazy shit to me. But they were like, that whole conversation is kind of stupid. Mind you, they don't identify with any gender. They're not non-binary. It's different than that. It's
like agender.
Yeah. It's like, do whatever you want, you know? And I was like, stupid. So yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes that conversation kind of comes up like randomly any day, like, because it's like, what even is that? Like, what are we talking about here? But then I also feel like I hear a lot, like, my parents talking, like, well, you have to, you know, be feminine and you have to do this. Like, women don't chase. Women sit and they receive. And, like, my dad is also very spiritual, in a different way than my mom. Like, he's very, like, Dr. Sebi and, like, it's giving Hotep light. But he's very much like, yeah, no, he's getting there, but it's approaching. It's approaching. Like, Grand Rising might be included. Like, he's halfway there. He says Grand Rising, but whatever. Anyways, so he'd be like, yeah, the feminine receives. That's why you have the womb. That's why you have the organs to receive and to hold. Women hold. They don't ask. They get. And so that kind of just muddles it all. And then my mom is like, no, like, you know, men, they pursue. Like, women, they have to be independent. Women don't chase. They're perfectly fine the way that they are by themselves. And it's the men that have to pursue and da-da-da. And so it's like, I don't know what's what anymore. But, I mean, I guess from how I live day to day and how I show up in places and spaces, or relationships, friendships, whatever, I feel like I've always kind of leaned more to the masculine side against my will. Like, it's kind of annoying.
Like, against your will, meaning your will?
Like, it's just my instinct.
Okay.
Despite myself. Like, despite what I want. Like, because I do want to, like, kind of channel in that whole, like, yes, I'm a lady. You come to me. And I guess that's how I've showed up in the past. Like, but, like, once I have an in, it's like I'm not receiving anymore. I'm doing the chase, and it's just like that kind of gets annoying. Story time. So in every relationship I've been in, it's always that person approaching me, right? Because I just be chilling, and they
chilling, sitting, praying.
Exactly, and then they come to me, and then it's like after that, it's like, okay. So you said you wanted me, so I'm here, and so are we gonna do this or what? Like, what's tea? Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? And like, cause it's like I'm kind of impatient. I did just say I'm a Scorpio Venus, so it's like, if I want it, like, is it a crime to get it? Like, so that's just that's just how it is. I guess that's a mix. Like, I will sit pretty, you come to me, and then I guess I channel masculine energy, and
once you're here,
I pursue. Yeah, exactly. So that's how it's happened in every past relationship. There was this one time where it didn't really work out with this one guy because he's a man, so like it's muddy there. But that was the first time where I tried to not do nothing, like absolutely nothing. So I would sit pretty. He came to me. He expressed interest, and I was like, okay. So what are you gonna do about it? And I guess that's kind of masculine, but like I kind of did that more pretty. Like, just imagine me being like, okay, that's fine. And so he invited me to like his place, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And so I go there, and in my head I'm like, nigga, are you gonna kiss me, or like, are we gonna like do something, or like, what are you like, hello, are we gonna talk, or like, but no, he didn't do anything. So it's like I kind of learned from that like sometimes you kind of have to tap into your masculine energy and like get what you want.
So you would associate masculine energy with being go-getting.
Yeah, like the hunters. The hunters gatherers. And then like the women, and they stay and they do what they fucking want. They do art. They weave like baskets, or they chill with the girls, or they cook, or they get their house right. They do what they want, and they stay, and they stay calm. But that being said, I don't believe in generals. Like, if I marry a non-woman, I'm gonna go out. You stay. If I marry a woman, then I'll stay. But like,
Amen.
I don't know. It's a muddy conversation. It's just muddy. Again, like this kind of goes back into like just do what feels right. I wish I had more of a better answer, a clearer answer. But it's just like, yeah, I guess it is situational. If it even exists, if the masculine, feminine, like if that even exists, like it is. I feel like situational.
It's very complex.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm stereotypically feminine because, like, I'm obsessed with my skincare. I love makeup. Like, I do my hair. I love jewelry. Like, I dress feminine. I love being girly. I love doing girly things. Like, I don't know. But,
just a girl.
Yeah. I did grow up really tomboy.
I remember you saying this. You shared this with me before.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of phases. It was like, the first couple years was very girly because I only lived with my mom, and it was just us girls. And then my brother came, and I guess that's kind of where I got a little bit more like, I'm a skateboard, I'm gonna listen to Afro-Latina, and like, I don't like the girls. The girls are just so much drama, and the boys are so much easier. Mind you, I was bullied by everybody, so it's like I don't even know what I was talking about. The boys are not easier, guys, ever. But
boys are always meaner.
No, I don't have a guy friend, like, at all. Like, I haven't had one for years. I don't know why. I just can't be friends.
Yeah, I don't have any male friends.
But, yeah. That's it.
Too.
Do I, like, introduce it, or, like, do I just go?
Yeah, if you have a name for the piece, you can.
Okay. So, this poem is called Not Sure What to Do for My Birthday. Yeah. Not sure what to do for my birthday. To question the space for a celebration is a question most heavy. To question if there's any space for the joy to see another year, another age, is a question that hunches my back and heavies my heart, because the question is to wonder if this age is worth celebrating, if this body is worth congratulating, if this heart is worth breaking. And I was never one to ask these questions, especially when my day of birth is near. Because at this time of the year, there was always a smile on my face, and there was always excitement for the growth of my body. I always congratulated myself for staying a year longer, but as the time approached this day, I filled with fear. I approach it with anxiety and a quiver in my smile, if I were to smile at all. Not because I am not happy of my growth, but because I'm scared of it. That if I were to feel pain now, what pain is to come when I continue? What pain am I walking towards? I'm scared. And I'm not sure what to do for my birthday. That was a more recent piece. But yeah. After the election, after heartbreak, like climate change, and it's just like very nervous about growing old. Yeah. Because am I gonna grow old at all? But
you don't even have that opportunity.
No, literally, like
great. Okay. So I want to talk more about intersectionality.
Okay.
Now, off camera, we were talking about, and you brought it up a little bit about your mother being spiritual. Now your dad is Hotep Light. And I would believe, I can only assume that's a product of being Black, specifically Dominican. Yes. So yes, I wanted to talk more about like intersectionality, how your background intersects with being a woman, and does it have any impact on the woman you are today? Oh, that was a loaded question.
I don't know.
Like, where does being Black and being a woman intersect? Or being Dominican and a woman intersect?
Yeah.
Being spiritual and a woman intersect? All these identities.
Okay, so my mom is Dominican. My black isn't. My dad isn't. Both Black. And I feel like their Blackness shows up very differently, and it's so funny. I mean, they're different genders, so I guess like that kind of helps with the answer.
Right.
But you would think like on my Dominican side, it's like women clean, women do this, da da da. My mom is very not about that. Like I was raised to learn how to cook, obviously, because you have to be your own person and like you have to know how to like do things. But I feel like being a Latina woman I feel like that's different from just being a woman from any other, obviously, because different cultures, being raised differently, different values, obviously, that's obvious. But I feel like for me, it makes me weirdly feel more feminine to be like, to speak such romantic language. Like Latin is so like the music is so romantic. Well, I mean, if you really listen to it, it's more sexual, but it's like it's sensual and like it's just so like, I mean, if you ever heard a Dominican speak, not very romantic, but it's like it's still Spanish. So I feel like being a Latina woman is more, it's more like I'm an independent woman, and like it's just, think of jazz. Like I don't know, that's how it feels. I mean, my mom is obsessed with jazz, so I guess that, I don't know, that feeds in. But like think of jazz and think of waves and like moving your body, how it feels.
We are back by popular demand. Amen. So my
Can't bring us down.
No, you can't. My SD card, I left my original one at home, and so we went to Dwayne Reed to buy one, and I got one that was 16 gigabytes. It said it would last for up to 80 minutes of filming. It has not been 80 minutes. And it is fine. So we had to. Oh, my question is on my phone. Okay.
Oh,
it's okay.
my!
I have it in my brain. This is crazy.
I forgot I have to turn a bit. Okay.
It's okay. I really do appreciate your lenience though, because there's been many hiccups today.
What am I supposed to do? Like, what? Of course, I'm gonna be like, okay, no, don't worry, no worries, cause.
Okay, T. All right. So we were talking about your culture. Where we left off, you were explaining that being a Latina woman, it makes you feel more like a woman. Because of the language, it's a romantic language, the music, just feeling free to move your body, be within your body. And then the influence of your mom, also not being like, yo ass need to be in the kitchen. T.
Yeah.
So that's where we left off.
Yeah, so on my Dominican side, I guess my mother, that kind of culture hasn't influenced me the way that it usually influences other Latina women. Not incredible. I'm not hyper independent. I always ask for help, maybe a little bit too much, but I am self-sufficient in a lot of ways. I'm working on the emotional way. It's hard being by yourself. Like, we're human. Like, we're supposed to lean on each other. Like, is that like, am I crazy? But yeah, so it's formed the kind of woman I am. Like, I'm not a slave. If you ever want me to be a slave, you're getting slapped. Like, it's just like, I take too much shit. Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. You might get away with a little bit. But yeah. So if we were to look over to like my dad, I guess being a woman, I don't know, because I was raised by my dad, in a sense, but it hasn't really, I don't know if he's shaped me into a woman. Maybe like if I were to speak on like shape me into the person I am today, where I'm incredibly emotional, that's only because he's a Cancer. So it's like, he's incredibly emotional. Like he's not afraid to like be sensitive and emotional. So I guess I'm the kind of woman that is in touch with her emotions. One thing my mom did kind of influence is like sensitivity bad, like crying bad, being weak bad, and my dad is like the total opposite. So
what's her sign?
Oh, she's a Taurus Gemini cusp. So she's a lot, but she identifies as a Taurus.
Okay.
So yeah, she tells people she's a Taurus, but she was literally, she's right in the, like, the last, like, right in between. It's a lot. Ask her. I don't know. But, yeah, so she's very, like, her Venus is, I think it's Virgo Venus. Something like that. So she's very, like, you're not gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, if you even get one tear out of me, you're gone. Like, you're not gonna make me cry. You're not gonna see me cry. You're not gonna see me hurt. Like, you know.
It's very strong.
But yeah, at the end of the day, if you merge those two, I feel like, obviously, period, like, just to preface, being a Black woman is so different from being, like, a woman. I don't know, like, I've never been, like, I'm Black and then I'm a woman. No, I feel like I'm a Black woman. And, like, yeah, the Blackness of, like, automatically comes first, but it's, like, I've never separated the two. I don't know. I don't
believe that they can be separated.
Yeah, I've never been like, solidarity for women. Like, yes, I believe in that. But it's like, Black women come first, guys. I'm so sorry, but Black women come first. Right. So yeah, our experience in general is different from your like average or more represented version of a woman. But I guess this intersectionality kind of shows up like, I don't know, it's made me more a woman. Basically just like my Latina side, like it just makes me more of a woman to even experience such uniqueness. Like I feel like I was saying it earlier, or like that one day, just that unique experience, like the fact that you're different is just, that makes me feel more like a woman. Like that I'm different from the mass. But yeah, I don't know if I even answered the question. I feel like I was just yapping. I was just,
I think you did.
Guys, this is hard.
I think you did. You touched on both influences of the different cultures, and then also how they coincide and become one under the Black woman label. That's T. Moving on. How does being a woman influence your art? Because you are an artiste. Amen.
Wow, I never even thought about that. I don't know. I was writing this one piece because like someone asked me, I forgot who it was, but somebody was like, how do you read? Like not like how do you read, like like how do you see or no, like how do you take in what you're reading? Like what is reading to you or something like that. And I wrote like this whole thing where it was like, I read emotionally and I don't read like anybody else. So like I don't read how I feel like you're taught to read, and like so I guess that's the same thing when it comes to writing. I don't follow rules. I don't like rules, and it's making my academic journey a little bit harder. I am applying to grad school, so it's like I know that they want to hear a certain voice. I don't know how to write in that voice. I only know how to write in mine, and I sometimes I don't feel like my voice fits what they're looking for in academia. Like I don't know, so I'm struggling with that, but I don't know how my being a woman affects my writing more, or at least I don't know how that affects I don't know how my gender affects my writing, but I do know like my personality, who I am as an individual, does affect my writing, and being a woman is a big part of that. It doesn't have to be for anybody. Like your gender doesn't even have to be really what makes you you. Honestly, if you don't want it to, but like for me, like I feel like that it has a big part in who I am. So I guess being a woman affects my writing. It just makes it that much more vulnerable. Like I don't know. Every time I've written an essay or a paper, I've always kind of inserted myself, even if I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. I actually want to talk more about what you mentioned about academia having this certain tone and you feeling as though who you are in your natural state just doesn't fit that.
Yeah. I think I'm intelligent. I do believe that I'm smart. I do believe that I have things to say. I do have things to say. I think I can definitely contribute to like the literature world and like research. I think as a scholar, I think I'd be great. But like when it comes to the application process and like actually turning shit in, it's like I feel like that's not like I feel like I'm not gonna give them what they want, but I'm gonna give you what you need. But yeah, so like writing my senior project, I kind of had to not fight, like I wasn't arguing with nobody, but I kind of had to like stand my ground and be like, this is not gonna be like henceforth indubitably and so on and thus. Like it's not, like I'm telling you right now, it's not. Like I feel like what I have to say is important, but it's not gonna be like what you've been used to, I guess. And I kind of had to fight for like having my own voice in my research and inputting my own experience in my research. And I'm a little scared that like grad programs are not gonna like that. But yeah, so it's I'm kind of protesting every day, like just being myself is a protest, because like I hate that like texts and like scholarly publishings or whatever, like I feel like shit like that, like research papers and shit, like they have to have a certain voice, and that's just kind of annoying.
They definitely follow like a certain outline. And it's crazy because, could you look up the word? But I don't remember the name of the word, but Miles, our professor that we had a couple classes with, he told me in one of my papers that it's basically when you write or you text, like how you speak.
Stream of consciousness?
No.
Jinx! Jinx!
Does it start with a J or something? It was like eloquently or something.
Colloquial?
I think so. Let's look it up. What is the definition of colloquial?
Colloquial means characteristic of informal or familiar conversation.
Yes. So the definition I just gave wasn't that. But that's what he told me. He was basically just telling me that the way that I write is like I'm having a regular everyday conversation. That's who I am. Like I don't care what I'm approaching. Like you said, like it's hard to deny myself to be myself. And I especially felt that way, especially in grad school. Like I feel it like in the classrooms, like these motherfuckers be like pulling words out their ass because like I don't know if it's like if they were conditioned or like they're moving like they have something to prove. But I'm like, why can't we just have a regular conversation? Or even when I'm like reading some of the texts that they assign, I'm like, bro, like you use 30 words to say one thing. You literally could have just said it straightforward in a sentence. Why are we like? So it kills me inside. So I understand what you're saying because I felt the same way like when applying to grad schools. And I kind of, because even with that, I feel like it's a pressure that we believe is it exists, and I believe it does to an extent, but only if you subscribe to it. Like, only if you say, okay, yeah, I know I'm supposed to write like this, so I'm not going to write at all, because then they won't accept it. Yeah. No, they're looking for that. They want that. Like, I just feel like I'm thinking about the IRB, and like how I had to submit like reports. I'm just thinking about the motherfuckers on the IRB. Like, they're probably bored as shit every day reading the same type of fucking papers. Then your paper land on their desk, you're getting it. Like, that's how I believe it works. That's what I'm saying.
Fingers crossed, guys.
You will get it.
I hope they love it. I hope they love it.
It's something they never even fathomed before. That's what they need in their program.
Yeah, because when I write papers, I write more poetically than like. Mind you, I use SAT words. I use good words, like good words, but like but it's just not gonna sound boring.
Yeah,
you're gonna laugh maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're gonna giggle a little maybe, but
like, why the fuck would I want to be reading somebody's paper and there's no joke in it? Like, I remember professors would tell me all the time, you can't put a joke. Why can't I put a joke? That's who I am.
That's why sometimes I don't really read nonfiction. Not because I don't like nonfiction, but because a lot of the writers are, I guess, there's some theory writers that I want to read, but I feel like a lot of their books, like when I start reading them, it's like, okay, so like I feel dumb, and I'm not gonna feel dumb. I'm not gonna feel dumb. If I could choose to read it, I'm gonna just not read it, because I'm not gonna feel dumb, and instead I'm gonna watch a video essay. Because, like, who are you to make me feel like I don't know what you're talking about? And it's not because I don't know the concept. It's because it's just the language is different. And what's the problem with speaking different languages? Like, okay, I speak a different language than you. Okay. Like, I shouldn't be feeling like... That reminds me of, like, I've never watched Modern Family, but there's this scene where... What's her name? Sophia? What's her last name? Something. I forgot. But she says, she's like, I hate... In the show, she's like, I hate feeling dumb. Like, she has a thick accent, Jesus. And she's like, I'm not dumb. Like, my accent it makes me sound dumb. People think I'm dumb because of my accent, but I'm actually very smart. I'm very smart in my language, in my first language. And that is so, like, I think about that all the time. I've never seen that show, but, like, I saw that one clip, and it stuck with me because that's genuinely how I feel. I just speak a different language than y'all. I know what y'all talking about. I know what we're talking about. I have a lot of things to say. Yeah. It's just, I sound dumb to you because I don't speak your language, and that's just so annoying. Yes. And I don't like that. But, I feel like we need to find a middle ground. Yeah. Because, like, yeah, sure, I need to learn how to, like... I want to learn how to write in a more professional language, I guess. But, like, that's not... I don't want to only write like that. Yeah. But I guess that, yeah. So, it makes me write more poetically.
We don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like, there's people, like, in Purchase, like... I'd be in class, we'll be talking about, we would talk about any book. Like, we would talk about a scene where a woman is, like, in love with some guy or something like that. And somebody be like, yeah, I just feel like the context of the situation really represents how, you can easily be like, oh no, she's like actually bugging. Like, I relate to her so much, but it just feels like that's a representation of. You see how I still use that long big ass representation, but I'm still like, I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Yes, and I'm telling you, that's literally how I feel in grad school. Like, I don't feel like it's any different from undergrad, and sometimes that makes me like so disinterested because I'm like, I don't want to go to class and be with these fake ass people. And maybe they're not being fake. Like, maybe, like you said, maybe that is their language. Like, that's your vibe. But it's like, come on, bro. Like, you can't all be like this. Yeah. This is
how you speak to your friends.
Like, no, you just.
This is how you speak in the group chat. I know that's not how you speak in the group chat.
I would hate being your friend.
I talked to an old professor. I don't know if you know her, Mary Rodney. But she's an old professor of mine. Purchase, obviously. She was on hiatus last year, but she's back now. And I was talking to her about this insecurity I have about like not speaking the same language as everybody else, and she was like, that doesn't show intelligence. That just shows like just different access. Like, they were just given, they just went to a different school that they were allowed different things. That has nothing to do with their intelligence. It's just what they have. Like, they're gonna say the same exact thing as you. They just gonna say it in just harder words. So that helps. Yeah. I wasn't given Like, I feel like a lot of these kids that went to school in, like, lower Manhattan, like, they went to these, like, amazing college preparation schools, like, where they took, like, college level classes and they learn how to just analyze things in a different way, and like them and their friends speak about the economic and political state of the world. Like they're just given different things.
Right.
Has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's just
I like that because it reminds us to not take it personally. Like them existing in the way that they are is no threat to who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they were just presented with different opportunities, but we still got to the same place.
Right. That's so funny because this is not, you're not at Harvard. Okay.
Like, fuck out here.
No, but I do believe that there are some people that do it on purpose.
Okay, T.
Like, because I'll have a normal conversation with somebody and they bring out like SAT words and it's like, girl, no one's here. Like, it's just me. It's okay. Now you're trying to make me feel dumb. For a fact. But
that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, T. I think those are all the questions that I had. I really like this detour in the conversation. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I don't like coming with questions. Because, like, you'll ask a question and then they'll say something and then, like, the conversation just takes off from there.
Yeah, look how that works, guys.
It was beautiful. So now let's get into your work.
So this is an excerpt of, I guess they ask for a writing sample when you apply to grad school. And so I was saying how I put my own voice and it's kind of poetic, like in my writing or whatever. So yeah. So if you guys like it, at least somebody likes it. They have to like it. They have to.
I'm sure we'll love it.
Okay. So before this, I was talking about Shakespeare. When I was not channeling my inner English playwright in my journal entries, I was attempting to put myself in the shoes of those who rejected me. Ultimately, I could not fathom happiness in my absence. I wondered how I could deal with being met with something I could not fathom. How could I cope with coming eye to eye with the rejection of my presence? How could I appreciate my presence still after being shown it can be discarded? I consider the love I have received from past partners as accomplishments, the looks and smiles from men as trophies to place on a shelf, and their validation as a medal to hang around my desperate neck. To cope with losing my romantic accomplishments is to accept the truth. Ultimately, to heal is to accept a life without my source of validation. I cannot say that image of life excited me. If anything, it scared me. So I attempted to put my energy into my studies and the envisioning of a future I desired, devoid of men. I did not enjoy it. After conducting research, I am told that I do not value myself and that the lack of self-love is due to this attachment to men's desire for me and the compulsion to be loved. I grew angry at myself for allegedly lacking self-respect, but a piece of me agreed, and I believed that I might. I felt safe imagining a future with someone who loved me. I daydreamed of it in my free time, a habit I found hard to break. Many days I hoped he would change his mind and I would gladly go back to living a life with ease, knowing that I'm worthy of a man's love. But the opportunity to forgive and to reconcile is no longer possible. I must not let my Desdemona kill me. I'm not Othello. In my journal, I've written, I am so angry. I thought I might be better. I don't know what to do. I have been bedridden in my anger. I don't know what to do. With repetition, I express desperation and frustration at finding no answer on how I should utilize my anger. To be bedridden is to be a prisoner, and my anger and sadness kept me repulsed to any activity that might require my physical movement. With this image, my anger might be more accurately represented with the word rage. I have been forced to accept the heat in the pit of my stomach, unsure of an outlet. A fair sum of the anger is directed towards me and my inability to detach myself from my former partner. However, an even larger sum is directed towards him for rejecting me. I figured I might have used his presence to validate my own as it represented my desirability, and his previous desire to stay informed me that my presence was one to appreciate. With that rejection, I have been left alone with the confirmation that I'm not desired. So what do I do with that anger that comes with that? And then I speak on Audre Lorde and her presentation in the National Women's Studies Association conference, the uses of anger, women responding to racism. And I don't know if y'all want to hear about that, but yeah.
Did you write it?
Huh?
Is it already written?
Yeah.
Oh, then keep going.
Oh, okay. In her presentation at the National Women's Studies Association conference, The Uses of Anger, Women Responding to Racism, Audre Lorde speaks on the usefulness of anger and how it can be used as a tool for change. She warns against the containment of this feeling and instead encourages its expression. She says, every woman has a well-stocked arsenal of anger, potentially useful against those oppressions, personal and institutional, which brought that anger into being. Focused with precision, it can become a powerful source of energy, serving progress and change. While she is talking about anger towards racism and misogyny, I feel this advice can be used to answer my previous question. This anger can be a tool for change. I've been struggling with finding an outlet for this emotion, and perhaps it is change. Change of perception of self, relationship with self, or simply change of self. This change can be a liberating release, a new beginning, which is what Lorde said it would be. Anger expressed and translated into action in the service of our vision and our future is a liberating and strengthening act of clarification. Anger is loaded with information and energy. I've inherited the ability to sit in my anger whenever it overcomes me from my father, who swears by meditation. He said that it is a perfect way to observe an emotion and to release it. It is healing and it is illuminating. After observing my anger, it tells me that I am loved by myself. So when the anger arises again, I realize that I'm angry because someone doesn't or cannot see the worth that I believe is within me. This realization can fuel the change I'm talking about. Instead of creating change within myself and around me in hopes that it will catch the attention of those who rejected me, I will change because I know I can be better. Because the love for myself can manifest in the action to create a woman that fulfills her potential. But what does this action truly look like? Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Because it's a lot.